Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make pot roast sliders. Now this isn't a very labor intensive recipe. Most of it's going to be in the slow cooker, but it is quite flavorful if done right. So what you want to do is you want to start by cutting up some onions, some carrots, and some celery. Now I went with baby carrots just because they're the perfect size, and you're not going to be really using them in the final product. It's just more for flavoring. Next, you're going to season your meat. Now you want to go with a chuck roast because when it's cooked in the slow cooker, it shreds very nicely, becomes extremely tender, and it's a good cut of meat. So you'll salt and pepper, add any other spices you want to it, make sure it gets into the meat really well, and then you're going to sear both sides to give it a nice color. Now once your meat is seared, it's time to load up the slow cooker. So I do something a little bit differently. I like to line the pan or the bottom of the slow cooker with bacon. This is completely optional, but I feel like that fat seeps into the meat and really gets it pretty tender. So I'll line the bottom with the bacon. I'll place my chuck roast on top of it. Then I'll load in the vegetables. And I'll use, for this recipe, I use chicken stock, but you can also use beef stock. And then I'll add some more spices and herbs to the mix. Also, I like to add some Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire sauce. I never understood how to say that word. And then also, I like to dash some chipotle hot sauce into the mix. And then you cover it and let it sit on low for about 8 hours, or if you're in a time crunch, you can do a high about 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours. Now that your meat is in the pot and it's cooking, now would be a great time to make your mashed potatoes. And I went with the simple garlic mashed potatoes, but you feel free to play with it as much as you want. Now if you need a recipe for a good 3 Kings mashed potatoes, I have a recipe. I'll link it in the description below. After the 4 hours or 8 hours, whichever one you choose, you're going to take out the chuck roast from the slow cooker. And depending on how you like your gravy, you can either get rid of the juice in the pot, or what I like to do is I like to make a gravy out of that. And so once you have your meat out, you'll set it aside. You'll want to wrap it to keep it warm. And for me, I'm going to make a sauce out of the juice, so I'll strain off all the ingredients in the pot except for the liquid. I'll take the liquid, I'll put it into a different pot, and I'll skim off as much of the fat as I can, and then I'll start to reduce the juice that's left over. And then if I feel like it's at a great texture flavor wise, I'll add either cornstarch or roux to thicken it up. And if you don't know how to make roux, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can get to that. And that'll become my gravy for when I start to build the sliders. Alright, next step is building the sliders. And to do this, you'll cut your buns in half, and you'll generously slather the mashed potatoes on either one or both sides. I chose to do one side. And then you'll pile up your chuck roast on top of it, and then you'll cover that and you'll cut it into portions. If you're using slider buns, they're already portioned out, so you should be fine with that. I went with dinner rolls, so they had to be cut. And then for plating, all you got to do is put the little sliders on the plate, and then on the side you'll have your sauce or your gravy. That way it allows them to either dunk their sliders into the sauce, or what I like to do personally is I like to pour the gravy on the bite I'm about to take. And that's basically how you make the pot roast sliders. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and then hope you have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe, all that in a bag of chips.